Hello guys, what's going on? Zach here, and today we've got yet another random map game, of course. It's another Chinese one as well. We have 4 Chinese players right here from Team Psy and VG and CKF. Some pretty good players right here, and I'll introduce them one by one. So, over to the west of the map, in green, we have got VG Paladin playing as Mayans. His teammate down to the very south of the map is PBTD playing in blue as Huns. This makes up their team, VG and CKF. Up to the north of the map, in the very sort of northwest, we have Psy Moments, aka Good Boy, who you probably remember from the GML Season 1. He's playing as Huns in the teal. And his teammate over to the far right of the map in red is James XX playing as Chinese. Chinese player playing in red as the civilization Chinese. You can't get much more Chinese than that, really. So, yeah, it's a Huns and Mayans versus Huns and Chinese. Now, it's a little bit of a controversy. Do Huns and Chinese beat Huns and Mayans? Well, you would think that the Mayans would have an advantage, and in my opinion they do. The Mayans tend to outplay the Chinese in a 1v1 situation for sure, because the plumed archers, of course, do perform very well against other archers. And the Chuko Nu isn't really an exception to that. It's a little closer, but even so, the Mayan player is likely to have the advantage here, and we'll see how this one ends up playing out. I mean, it could be the case that we don't even really get into the Castle Age or late Castle Age when the Mayan player is likely to be putting down his castles and pumping out the plumes. I mean, it could be over by then. Depends. I mean, these players like to wall up. We know that. We see that quite a lot, and that could end up meaning that we do have a longer game. But at the same time, if you've got a very unwallable map, then that could not be the case at all. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, really. There's no way to know until we get to it. So I'm going to speed things up right here. And, I mean, we could have a drush from any of these guys, actually. Perhaps not the Chinese. Chinese not such a drushing civilization. Because they are a little bit more food depraved at the start of the game. However, the Huns and the Mayans may drush. It could be a possibility, and it could be the case that D wants to drush over at James XX's base. I mean, that could work out pretty well for him. And one thing to note as well is that whilst James XX here is playing as Chinese, pretty obviously going to be going for archers, whereas D has got the option here. He can go archers, he can go scouts, though I've got a feeling we're going to see archers. Of course, Huns are going to want to go archers over scouts in most situations, whereas because they want to get the cavalry archers, of course. Cavalry archers beat the crossbows in 1v1, and if you go for archers first, your economy is already set up for that. So let's see if anyone is actually going to drush. We're approaching the 6.5 minute mark right now. That was very close. Paladin, a little bit of harassment on that wood right there of Good Boy. And that villager is so low with 1 HP. She must have lured a boar or something and then gone to chop wood. Paladin spotting that and nearly losing his eagle in the process. At the same time, he's going to spot this barracks from Good Boy here. And one thing about Good Boy is that he is pretty much the sort of king, in a sense, of forwarding. He loves to play super aggressive. He loves to forward. And we could see him playing very aggressively against Paladin here. We'll see how it goes. Of course, Paladin sticking his own barracks up right now. So both these guys are going to be drushing up here. And I think D not going to be drushing at all. Of course, James XX, surprisingly... Wow, surprisingly, he is going to make a drush right here, and I'm kind of surprised by that because the Chinese, I mean, they can drush if they want to, but it doesn't always work out that well for them, purely because they're more food depraved. It could be a long while before he reaches up to feudal, and if he has a really delayed feudal, then he could end up, if he can't wall up very well, losing a lot of villagers to D's scouts or archers, whatever he goes for. I think. Maybe, yeah, we're going to see archers from him, I feel, because he's already taking quite a lot of wood right here, transitioning mainly into wood. So drush up in the north, and Paladin, of course, starting to make some militia. Good Boy as well, and I'd really like it if we saw Good Boy play super aggressive and go forward here. And I think Good Boy's team is going to have to do something a little bit different. Purely because of the fact that at the moment Paladin and D are just going to have the natural civ advantage in this game. So James XX coming in with 3 militia right now. Probably going to meet up with his scout as well over here. Surprisingly, D even missing 4 of these sheep right here. He's just putting down a barracks. What is he doing? He's clicked up to feudal. So yeah, he's going to want the barracks about now. Halfway to feudal. And he will, of course, get the barracks up in time, go with an archery range. I feel an archery range is going to be the case here. Now, one thing that James XX is going to like about this is he's picking up these sheep. Of course, D doesn't really need them. I mean, he obviously hasn't scouted very well. He's scouted around his base. He's luring in these deer right here. Missing those sheep, kind of a big deal. But James XX is going to pick these up, take them back to home. And, of course, that's going to aid him in his food here. I mean, he may as well have just given him a free boar. So James XX is going to get that little food boost. Looks like he's having a bit of trouble with wolves, though. This militia on 1 HP already. And this one a little bit damaged. D, down with the trumpets, up to feudal. And we're going to see a stable out of him. Interesting choice. Not really sure why he's going for a stable here. I mean, his gold is in a bad position, sure. But at least it's in the back. The issue here is he's going for a stable, but he's not really got much food income. He's got 2 sheep under his TC and a farm. And 2 villagers on berries. That's not really enough to sustain scouts. And whilst, yes, scouts and a couple of spearmen are going to defend this drush off, in my opinion, he would have been much better going for archers right here. And you can see his economy is much more set up for archers. He's got a lot more villagers gathering wood right now. He's got a lot of wood in the bank. So a little bit bad decision making for him there, I feel, going for scouts. 2 scouts are out, well, 1 scout is out. Gonna deal with this drush pretty quickly. Didn't lose any villagers, so it's not too bad for him. But of course, James XX back at home, walling up right now. Lots of farms out, picking up those extra 2 sheeps as well. And he's gonna be up to feudal in just a sec on 30 population. So he's clicking up right now. And we may see him go for feudal pressure, but he may get away with a fast castle. It could happen. And then he could go for knights. Chinese could go knights, can go camels as well. They're surprisingly good at that. So we'll see how it goes. D walling up, no surprises there. Same for Paladin and Good Boy as well, who's just hit feudal. And Good Boy, let's see. Yeah, he's up to feudal right now, but he's not going to be fast castling. He's putting a stable down. So we could see some scouts coming out from him as well. He's playing as Huns too. Paladin, on the other hand, he's going to be more inclined to go for a bit of a fast... Paladin is going to be a bit more inclined to go for a fast castle here, if he can get away with it. That's the issue. This drush still going on over here. Very, very low militia for moments for Good Boy, losing all 3 of those in an instant. And obviously Paladin there with the extra HP on his militia, very easily dealing with Good Boy's attack. Now, judging, yeah, he's definitely going to be doing a bit of a fast castle here. You can tell he's taking the stone already, which shows he wants to do the castle drop. He's got 2 villagers on gold, sending another 2 over right now. And of course, he's got plenty of villagers on food here by seeding these extra farms. So a fast castle is on the cards for him. Of course, he has these militia as well, and he's going to be fully walled in a moment. D, stone walling like crazy in a big square around his base, and he could get away with fast castling as well. He's up to feudal, but I mean his economy is a bit of a mess. I'm really a little bit confused by this play. The fact he decided to go stable there was a little bit weird to me. I don't know if at that stage he knew that James had the militia, but archers still would have been a better choice in my opinion. He could have gone super aggressive, but in this situation, he is just going to be walling up and trying to castle in a reasonable time. Of course, James XX is going to be up first. Archery range, blacksmith going down, almost at the 800 food mark. Good Boy just clicking up right now. Paladin about to click up. He just needs the gold, but blacksmith and market done, and of course he's going to have that castle by the time he reaches the castle age. And where he puts it, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking he's going to put it on the front to protect these golds. You could put it right here on this little hill, or even here could be a spot for it, as it's going to protect these gold mines at the front. It's unlikely, I think, that he's going to place the castle aggressively. It's just not really their style to do that. But he could have put it on this hill right here, for instance, right outside of Good Boy's base, though that wouldn't really get him much. It wouldn't gain him much at all. really. Other places you could put it here if you wanted to play aggressive, but again, not the best position. It doesn't really cover any gold, doesn't put that much pressure on, and I think Paladin likely to just put it around this gold here to protect it. But he will be making plumed archers, and James XX, he's going to be up to castle right now as well. D, still feudal, and he will be for a while actually at this rate. His economy very imbalanced. I'm still a little confused as to what was going on there. Obviously having to take stone as well, because he will need to get those TCs up once he reaches the castle age, and he doesn't have the stone for it at the moment. So that of course is going to slow his castle time down even more. Paladin on the west though, already up to castle as well. Sorry, we've already seen that. I meant to see moments there. Everyone's up to castle apart from D. D's lagging behind at this stage of the game. So I think Good Boy going to hit up first. What's he going to do though? I mean, he's playing as Hunts. He could go Cavalry Archer, but judging by the fact he's got so much food right here, I reckon we're going to see 2 TCs out of him straight away. Maybe one on this gold. It was right there. And once he gets a little more, maybe on the wood at front here or something like that. So, Good Boy just going to get the TCs up and go for economy. You see him researching wheelbarrow right there. That's pretty indicative of that. Whereas Paladin, there's the castle on his gold right there. And he is going to be securing this area nicely. He needs to make sure he does that, of course. Now, the question is Good Boy just going to wall up, get fast Imperial and do damage, or is he going to put pressure on? Well, he's making some knights from this stable. I don't think we're going to see some really, really high pressure from him, of course. Paladin and D both fully walled up. But he is starting to make a couple of knights right now. But I think he really needs to focus. They need to focus on the Mayan player. James and Moments and Good Boy, they've got an advantage. Of course, they're both up to castle right now. D is very far behind, but D could sling. Though it doesn't look like he's going to. Putting up those two archery ranges right there. Now, something that you see quite often is players will sling the Mayan player. In this situation, doesn't look like he's going to be slinging Paladin at all. But James and Moments right now, well, Good Boy even, they kind of want to focus on the Mayan player because he is going to be the one who is going to be doing a absolute ton of damage later on. He's already saving up for his second castle as well, and Paladin, if we have a look at his economy right now, he actually put that castle down first, then the TC, so he was really concerned about securing this gold, but also he can now start making some plumed archers. So his economy is going to be a little further behind, as he is only just sticking up his second TC right now, compared to Good Boy that is, and of course compared to James. But he is going to start making some plumed archers right now and trying to take a little bit of map control if he can. Now, at the moment, he'll need a few plumed archers to face up against a knight, but even so. James XX, few crossbowmen, no +2 on them just yet, but he has only really just reached castle. Trying to find a way in, and, well, he's not going to find one. He may find a couple of villages if he stands here. I don't think... 1, 2, 3, yeah, I think he's slightly out of range there. He may just be able to hit one of them, but I'm not sure. But I think D walling a little bit. I don't know. He's got this gold here. That's it. The other 2 golds are walled out of his base, so he needs to be a bit careful about that. And let's see if James XX can hit this gold. I don't know if he's going to actually head over there. Good Boy with more knights coming out slowly but surely. 3 TCs for him. Paladin's still got his militia going strong. And of course now James XX, realizing D is fully walled, he's going to try and find a way over to Paladin's base to find, Paladin's fully walled. Is that a surprise? No, I didn't think so. 30C, where is it? He's got the stone for it. He just needs the wood right now, but he's keeping up that plumed archer production. Let's see upgrades on these guys. It's +2 attack. Bodkin Arrow is done, and with this many plumed archers, he should be able to kill knights reasonably quickly. I mean, he's doing what, 6 damage, -2, 4 damage per hit. He's got 3, 6, 8 there. Yeah, he can take out a knight. Two volleys would be able to take out the knight right there, and he's gonna try and poke and push a little bit right here. I feel take some map control. D coming in there with cavalry archers. This is a nice little move. Taking out a few villagers and just denying James XX some wood. But James XX with a ton of crossbows here. And, you know, in a 1v1, China kind of falls short against Huns, I feel. Of course, Huns, with the cavalry archers being so much cheaper, they can outproduce them, and they are stronger than crossbows as well. Bear in mind, D has the +2 here. And of course, just have a look at the HP. Cavalry archers, of course, with double the attack and the extra, double the HP and the extra attack. So, pretty conclusive then that the cavalry archers are going to get the upper hand. But if you're outnumbered, it's a different story. Paladin coming in at the back, denying this TC for moments for Good Boy, and that was a nice little move from him. He's going to even get into his base. Good Boy wasn't fully walled right there. He may have deleted a palisade. Chasing him down with some knights right now, but Paladin is in, and he's going to take some damage from the TC perhaps, and he could get cleared up pretty quickly from these knights. It's gonna be moments. Good Boy gonna take out the plumed archers right here. Of course, once a couple of plumed archers go down, it makes it significantly harder for them to kill anymore. But even so, managing to get 4 or 5 knights right there, he may even get a 6th. And these plumed archers really proving their worth right here as another knight goes down. And wow, that was a big loss. Wow, we still got 3 plumed archers there. That's a huge loss for Good Boy. My god, these plumed archers, just how strong they are. Once they get into a corner, they will do serious damage. And of course, the cost of a plumed archer compared to a knight, it's pathetic. It's so cheap. So Good Boy losing out massively, and you can see Paladin's score just jumping up right there. Really nice play by him, and more plumed archers coming in as well. So this castle, the plumed archers, really paying off for him right now. No ballistics just yet, but of course this was Jeffrey's 4th TC over here. He wanted to secure a 4th, and you really kind of have to against a Mayan player. But even so, look at this, just absolutely killing his knights so easily. A little bit of nice micro there as well from him, just to top it off. That knight's going to go down, and he is going to prevent this TC. He's going to harass Good Boy's economy, and Good Boy sticking down 3 archery ranges and 2 stables right there. He really needs to kick up his production, making some skirmishes to help deal with the plumed archers. And yeah, I mean, just the power of the plumed archers, it's so strong. James here, nice picks on D, and D is going to fall straight into that one. Of course, the cavalry archers, yes, they are stronger, but when they're outmassed by crossbows, they're still going to have a tough time. If your crossbows can one-shot them, it doesn't really make much of a difference whether you've got that extra HP or not, does it? So that is the story over this side. D putting up his 4th TC as well. And this guy's playing super eco mode. But I really like the pressure from Paladin here. He's doing this really well. And of course now up against skirmishers from Good Boy. So may have a tougher time, but still in the back. And is he going to get flattened by this onager? Well, Mangonel doesn't look like it, but he is certainly going to run away. And Good Boy, of course, forced to make that siege workshop and the onager here just to defend. Of course, that is not something that he really wanted to do. If you can help it, you don't want to make the Mangonel because it's an expensive cost, and if you get out microed, you're going to lose it. So, you know, it's not ideal for him to have to make that. It might be handy for him a little later on, but even so, ideally, that was a cost he didn't want to have to incur. So look at Paladin's base. He is looking pretty beefy in his economy right now. Lots of farms. Looks like he's going to be heading to Imperial fairly soon. Stopped his plumed archer production. And he's going to want to go up to Imperial in a pretty quick time. And just try and get Trebs out. Try and mass up the plumed archers. Get them up to elite. And try and put Good Boy out as quickly as he can. Because I think in this situation, Good Boy is going to be a bit more of a threat than the Chinese player is going to be. James XX sticking up a castle, maybe making some Chuko Nu of his own, and looking like he's going to be up to Imp fairly soon as well, actually. He's got 1,000 gold in the bank, so pretty comfortable for him right there. And between him and D, I think things are fairly even. Looks like D is just about to click up, actually, putting that monastery down and the siege workshop. He is clicking up in just a second's time. And of course, heavy cavalry archers are going to be pumped from him, I feel. There we go, he's going to click up in just a second. There is the Imperial click. And it's looking pretty bad for James and Good Boy right now. Paladin also clicking up, as I said. He is not going to be messing around in the north, or in the west right here. he is going to be getting that. Second castle going down as well. Black barracks as well. He's going to go for Eagle Warriors. Eagles as well as plumes. Good choice. And of course, the Mayans Eagles, so strong with their unique technology. It's going to be, I think it's going to be tough for Good Boy here. He needs to get defenses in place. I mean, he can't kill the Eagles with his skirms. That's pretty conclusive. And he's going to have a tough time as well because he's not started to mass any military at the moment. He's still in the castle age. He's not making military. And obviously Paladin already clicking up, starting to make the military right now. And that's pretty gnarly for them. Eagle Warriors coming out. And, you know, he may decide to just use these castles for defensive purposes, not going with any more plumed archers. But this is going to be a really nice play from Paladin here, I think. D as well, already up to the Imperial Age, and you know, I was really worried for D at the start. I thought he was going to be under a lot of pressure and he was really going to struggle, but with this wall it actually paid off for him, and he's going to be looking set really to do well here. No university though, so he's not going to have ballistics, but started to put stables up. Looks like he's actually going to be going for knights, and I can't see upgrade wise what he's got. Yeah, +1 defense on cavalry. It's not a great deal, but let's have a look at his blacksmith right now. Yeah, +2 defense on the way. Definitely going for knights right there. And now, I don't know if Paladin is trying to make Good Boy think that he's going for plumed archers so that he overcompensates and makes a lot of skirms. He's not queued anything else up just yet. Yeah, he's queuing more skirms. So Good Boy thinks that Paladin's going to be making pure plumes right here. And he's going to be wrong. He's going to realize that actually he's making a lot of elite eagles in a very short while. So there we go. Paladin up to Imp in just a second. It's going to hit it. And we're going to see what comes down right now. He's lacking a little bit of gold at the moment. Eagle Warriors, of course, costing 50 gold. It's not cheap. And what did we see? Elite Eagle right away. And nothing at the blacksmith just yet. Still lacking a bit of gold, but he should get that in a reasonable time. This Elite Eagle upgrade, though, going to be really important. +3 attack, +2 defense, already done. He is not messing around. And I think Good Boy's going to have a tough time. I really think he is. He's quite slow to get up to Imp. And, of course, Paladin already starting to mass that army. His score starting to jump very far ahead in this situation. James XX on the outskirts of D's base with his crossbows. They can be upgraded to Arbalest, and I would be surprised if he wasn't upgrading to Arbalest. There's Bracer, Conscription as well, starting to get some chucks. Bracer's done, as I said. No Arbalest though. Oh, there we go. Arbalest being researched. So James XX really going to try and kill as much as he can here. D is slow to react. But he's up to Imp, and he does have Cavalier +4, so big stuff for him. Up in the north, we've got Good Boy just pumping out those knights, but facing up against the Elite Eagles right now. Sorry, it's +1 attack on them, not +3. That was just, yeah. Eagles are funny things. They're awkward. But yeah, +2 defense on them right now, and Good Boy is going to lose a lot of skirms right here. Not such a big deal, I suppose. But the Elite Eagles going to make pretty short work of Knights as well right now. I've got the upgrade advantage, of course. And I'm waiting to see... Where is he? Paladin right there. Is he getting the all-important upgrades that he needs? Iron Casting, +2 attack. More Eagles coming out, but at the moment it's still lacking a little bit of gold. That's the issue. But yeah, 100 health on them. Not missing a beat. That's a lot of health for such high pierce armor as well. You know, they're gonna have 8 pierce armor when they're fully upgraded. The ultimate raiding unit. It's madness. In the meantime, PBTD down to the south, massing up on these stables. It's a conga line of stables. Nay. And D there with +4 attack, +4 defense, +1 attack, and Cavalier done. Looking very low on the gold count, but he's not upgrading to Paladin just yet. He does not need the Paladin yet. He is massing up that army first before he goes for Paladin, which is a good idea. Siege Workshop coming forwards on the front. James XX coming forwards with 4 villagers as well, but massive army of Arbalest and Chuko Nu. Now, I am worried for D. I've got to say, he does not have that many Cavalier right now. And this army from James is pretty beefy. Of course, D has a good idea what he's got. He can see that with those villagers giving him line of sight. But now Paladin's going to be coming in from the north, coming down, trying to hit this army from behind. If they can time this correctly, they might do massive damage to James right here. They may prevent this castle from going up. So let's see. He needs, he's moving in. Paladin and D coordinating this attack really, really nicely indeed. Both going to be coming in right here. But even so, look how many Arbalests and how many Chukonu he has, making very short work of these Eagles. Gonna try and stop this castle. Is he gonna be able to do it? The Eagles are just melting away right here. And in come the Cavalier with the +4 defense, as I said. Gonna be able to tank a little bit more damage, but even so, these Arbalests, these Chukonu from James, doing mad damage right now. Losing a few of them. Not gonna be able to get this castle up, unfortunately for him, and having to retreat. But managed to do quite a bit of damage to Paladin there. And his score did just jump a little bit, but cannot take this 2v1, that is for sure. So D and Paladin really nicely played, coordinating that attack very nicely and chasing James back into his base. We've still got these Eagle Warriors coming out, +4 attack now done. And they are going to be packing a real punch. Really, they are. They are going to be really doing good. Of course, lacking the melee armor that the Cavalier has, and the health, and of course the attack speed. But they will still make great raiding units. And let's see. I mean, of course, they are cheaper than Cavalier, so he may still be in a good position. Of course, masked Cavaliers from D, +4/+4. So we're going to see Paladin coming up next. That is the next thing on his list of things to do. And it is, in fact, 60%. D is going to have Paladin very shortly. And, of course, Good Boy here. Probably not. Oh, he is. 61%. They literally clicked it at the same time. Wow. I'm actually surprised at that. I didn't think Good Boy would have Paladin so soon. Considering he was slower to get up to Imp, I think. But even so, gonna both have very fully upgraded Paladins. But this is where I'm saying here now that the Chinese player probably isn't gonna perform as well as the Mayan player. The Mayan's just gonna have an advantage, I feel, overall. So let's see. Moment's gonna be heading out with these Cavalier, but in comes PBTD once again. Gonna hammer down on this stable, and oh my god, imagine if he'd have took that stable out a little bit sooner. That Paladin research for Good Boy would have had to been cancelled, and that's a long research time. Man, if that had actually gone down, little does he know. Little does he know. So both of them with Paladin researched right now, and he is just going to try and get in there, but some quick walling from Good Boy saves his ass. But look at the amount of pressure coming in right here. He doesn't have murder holes, so these Eagle Warriors are going to be battering away at that castle. No problem. 2v1 situation here for Good Boy, and James XX just sitting here on his hill. He needs to go and help out, because Good Boy about to lose this stable here, and D and Paladin just going to be able to walk straight in. No questions, no questions. Paladin coming back with some Eagles here to deal with the Paladins as best as he can. But there we are. Oh, man, he's still not in. Good Boy, some really nice walling here. Really nice walling, and yeah, he is in. There's a gap on the left side, instantly seeing that. Moving in with his Paladins, and this is all gonna be gone very shortly, I feel, as D is just gonna be running straight in here and doing mad damage. James paying tribute to Good Boy right now, who is, of course, up against a pretty tough problem, and that tough problem is Paladins in his base, Eagle Warriors in his base, killing pretty much everything he has, all of his villagers just getting slaughtered on the fields. Bit of a problem. Rams coming in, this castle is going to go down as well, and Paladin and D double teaming on moments here. But why is James XX doing nothing? He's not coming in. He's reset, trying to upgrade his pikemen so that he can actually deal with the Paladins and stuff here. But he is too slow to react, in my opinion. He's only just getting out Rams right now, and that is very late indeed. He needed that a lot sooner. He needed pressure here, so D couldn't be up here. Absolutely wrecking Good Boy's economy right now. Good Boy is going to have very little left very shortly. And that is really, really bad news for him. They have got a bit of trade going as well, which of course is going to be even more of a problem now. As Paladin and D get into this trade line. So many dead villagers for Good Boy. Just watch his population dropping right now. More going to go down. Surprisingly, this castle still stands, but for how much longer? I really don't think much longer at all. Population going down so fast as his villagers are getting slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered, and he just resigns. He just resigns. James XX there, just too slow to really do anything. He paid him tribute, but what use is all the resources in the world if you can't produce the units to fight? 2v1 is nasty, and James XX, in my opinion, he should have been there, and he should have been there to help, or at least attack D sooner. He just waited it out and paid tribute, but it wasn't enough. It just was not enough. So, very well played by Paladin and D, and as I said, going into this game, I felt like the team with the Mayans had the advantage. Of course, they had the flexibility. They could have gone for Plumes. Of course, eventually going for the Eagle Warriors later on. But they're such a powerful unit. Once they're in, they are in, and they will kill everything. You've got to be really careful about that. And of course, with the addition of the Paladins from D, just Good Boy couldn't do anything there. So anyway, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then please leave a little like below. As usual, I've been Zach, and I will see you next time.